My dreams come true.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make a really cute lace bralette. I show you how to make the pattern as well as how to sew everything together. It's super quick, super easy, so let's get right into it. Alright guys, so to start this project, you're going to need a tape measure, scissors, a pencil and eraser, as well as some rulers to help make your pattern. For the fabric, you're going to need black stretchy mesh and black stretchy lace. Then for the closure, you guys can use a hook and eye set like the ones that are on bras, or you can use snaps. The first thing you're going to do is measure from the middle of the back of your neck, where the halter would sit, around the front of your body along your chest. This will determine the length of the bralette. You're going to take off around 2 to 3 inches from this number because the lace stretches, so you don't need the exact measurement. Next, measure across your breast from the middle of your chest to the area around your underarm, and then you're going to divide that number in half to get the measurement for the width of the cup. You're going to draw that line perpendicular to the first line we drew. Next, make a mark ½ inch away from the top of the bralette. With a dotted line, you're going to connect that mark to the bottom of the bralette at the line we just drew for the cup. Use the dotted line as a guide to draw a real line using the curved ruler. And you're going to want it to be kind of straight until you get to the middle point, which is when you're going to curve it outwards to create the shape of the cup. For the lining, you're going to make a mark about 4 to 5 inches up from the bottom of the pattern, depending on how much coverage you want. And when you go to cut out the pattern, you're just going to fold back the rest of it so that you don't need to make a separate pattern for the lining. For some reason, this part got cut out, but you're going to add 3/8 of an inch seam allowance to the cut pattern along the top, bottom, and curved edge because those are the areas you'll be sewing. Next, you're going to measure around your underbust, and again, take off around 2 to 3 inches from that number because the lace will stretch. And once you take off the 2 to 3 inches, divide that number in half, and that's what you're going to use to make your band pattern. You're also going to decide how long you want the band to be. I wanted mine to be around 2 inches, so that's what I'm drawing here. Next, you're going to add 1 inch seam allowance to one end of the pattern to account for the overlap that you're going to need to sew your hook and eyes together, or your snaps, just like how it is on a bra. On the other side of the pattern, you're going to write on fold so that you know to fold the lace in half when you're cutting out this pattern piece. Now you're going to draw 3/8 of an inch seam allowance at the top because that's where you'll be sewing the cups, but the bottom doesn't need seam allowance because it'll be cut on the scalloped edge of the lace. But if your lace doesn't have a scalloped clean edge, you guys can just use seam allowance on everything and then hem it. So as you can see here, I pinned my lace down and the straight edge of the pattern is along the scalloped edge of the lace. You'll need to cut out 4 pieces of the lace and the mesh for the cups and 1 piece on fold for the band. The cups are going to be sewn right sides together along the curved edge, which is what gives it shape to hold your goodies in. So the bigger your size, the bigger the curve will be. For example, if you're an A cup, it'll be less dramatic of a curve than if you were a D cup. So you're going to pin your lace right sides together along the curved edge and pin your mesh the same way, then take it to the sewing machine. So as you guys can see here, what I was talking about, when you sew it along the curved edge, you have the shape of a bra cup. Now I'm going to sew the other cup together as well as the mesh lining pieces. So here I'm going over the raw edges of everything with a zigzag stitch to clean up the seams. However, you can use a serger if you have one, but I just didn't feel like using my serger for a few small seams. But here's what it looks like all cleaned up. Next, place your mesh lining on top of the cut piece, wrong sides together so you have a clean edge, and you're going to match the seams up. You're going to just pin everything in place and take it to the sewing machine. Then you're going to cut off any excess mesh around the scalloped lace edge so it looks nice and neat. Then you're going to place the 2 completed cups right sides together and sew along the top edge to make the halter. So here's what everything will look like. You have your bra cups sewn together nice and neat, ready to be attached to the band. So you're going to fold the band in half to find the middle, and then place the cups along the middle, right sides together, just like that, and pin it in place. Next, you're going to fold down the top 3/8 of an inch and use a zigzag stitch to clean up the edge. This will also hold down the seam from sewing the cups onto the band. And here's a close-up of what I mean so you guys can see. So as you can see, I'm sewing down the raw edge. So here's what everything looks like, nice and neat. And the next part, I just sewed on the snaps, which I didn't show because it's relatively easy, but here's how the snaps look, or you guys can use a hook and eye closure. So here's the finished bralette. So that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned. It's pretty quick, pretty easy, and you can modify the pattern to make the bralette however you want, whatever shape you want. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. Bye.